Hello, welcome to my kind of new series where we're getting into the herbology and natural healing a lot more. And this video is basically just going to be how to naturally heal your gut. And I have to preface this by saying that most symptoms that we experience are related to the gut because the gut is the primary driver of inflammation in your body. So we have to, before we talk about how to heal it, understand the gut brain axis and understand the implications of gut health. So we see here like schizophrenia, anxiety, bipolar, bulimia, anorexia. These are actually gut conditions that manifest as neurological conditions because of the gut brain axis. So when we see what happens, so we eat, right? We actually eat with our brain first, but we eat nutrient delivery, microbial balance, motility, which is how we break down our food. It's the muscle contraction, and then secretion, which is like we secrete mucus to break down foods. We secrete hundreds of thousands of different enzymes to break down our food. And it's very important that we do it in the correct quantities, obviously, right? But then once that happens, your gut sends back to your brain neurotransmitters, and so depending on the neurotransmitters that it sends based on what happened. So if it got a McDonald's burger, if it got a Big Mac, it's sending alarm bells off. Just all the worst neurotransmitters signaling inflammation, signaling danger, signaling problems, which then manifest as anxiety, mood, stress. And then we sit here and say, these are our problems. Like there's a mental health problem, this is a neurological condition, when really it has everything to do with not just the food we're eating, but how we're breaking it down. And that happens in the gut. So another important thing to understand is that these are nervous system functions. Neurotransmitters are nervous system functions. These are nervous system effects. And there is a nervous system in the gut called the enteric nervous system, which produces 95% of our serotonin. It produces dopamine. It produces cortisol. It produces a lot of these experiential hormones that actually like paint our experience of life. And so it's not, it really like in studies is shown to be a second brain. Like the complexity level is close to the brain in terms of neurotransmitters and nervous system, neurological connections, and neural nets. So we have to treat it like a second brain. It's like, would you feed yourself, would you purposefully watch something super negative? I know we do sometimes because of social media, but like, given the choice, not really, right? It's pretty much the same thing with the gut. Like, would you purposefully put something in your gut that you know is going to destroy the way you think and the way you function? Probably not. Like, you don't want to do that. So this is important to know because a lot of people go around saying like, I got anxiety, I need anxiety meds. Things as serious as schizophrenia and bipolar. Like, think about how they get treated when the root cause is gut related. So what you need to do is you need to change your diet. You need to incorporate herbs, and you need to change also the way that you think. So something that isn't shown in this is that the gut brain axis is connected by the vagus nerve. So when you see people that like can eat whatever they want, right? It's because they have highly active vagus nerves that essentially just are able to process things better. Like when you have a highly active vagus nerve, you can process food a lot better. Digestion becomes better. Secretion is more effective. Motility is more effective. Neurotransmitters are more balanced. And so these things are not as affected. So you can do two things for gut health. You can use herbs and you can do all these physical things. And then you can also increase your vagus nerve function. And both of these things are important for maintaining and creating a balanced environment. So now that we understand how important this is and how a lot of your neurological symptoms may be gut related, let's get into how to heal the gut. This is why you're here. So a lot of you don't know, but I was like bedridden for like 2 years with gut problems. Manifested as neurological stuff as well, but it was really bad gut problems for me. and I couldn't do anything. And it was very difficult to heal because I tried so many different things. I went to so many different doctors and I was told so much conflicting things that I had to just trial and error, trial and error, try and error until eventually things started working, right? And this is what I learned. Okay. The main perpetrator is leaky gut, okay? Leaky gut is what happens when your gut lining starts to break. And these bacteria, which are supposed to stay in the gut and be broken down in the gut, are let out into your bloodstream. So what's in here are broken down carbs, proteins, like short chain fatty acids, for example, triglycerides. These are things that are useful in your gut, but when they escape into your blood, they're they activate an immune response because they're not supposed to be in your blood. So, without getting into the technicals of it, your body is like, okay, there's bad bacteria. Let's get it out. Let's send like cytokines and other like macrophages, blah blah blah. But it creates inflammation. Like when you get sick, your body creates inflammation to flush it out. So autoimmunity is when your body is reacting to itself. And I would go as far as say leaky gut is the most pervasive autoimmune condition in the world. And it's under talked about, it's under addressed. It needs to be addressed because most things come back to this. Because there is a one cell thick lining, which is your gut lining, which is called the tight cell junction. So when one cell is not there, you actually have a lot of bacteria seeping out into your blood, which is negatively impacting you. So how do we fix this? L-glutamine is going to be a huge one. It's an amino acid, and it is one of the fundamental amino acids that your gut lining uses to create more gut lining, to reproduce. Another little fun fact is that your gut lining reproduces every 3 to 5 days. So every 5 days, you have a completely new gut lining, which is why you can actually make pretty big impacts pretty quickly because you're actually growing this all the time. So L-glutamine is the amino acid which actually creates this. And so you need to be going crazy on the L-glutamine, probably 1,500 milligrams a day, 2 grams, 3 grams. That's all good. Like you want to be going ham on this. Next, you want MSM. MSM is methylated sulfur. Methylation is something that's very important in your body, and it makes compounds actually usable. But sulfur is something that we are not getting enough of, and it's actually pretty hard to consume in foods. A lot of the foods now that are supposed to contain sulfur, a lot of sulfur, like broccoli, for example, are very demineralized, so you're not actually getting those minerals. And this is a vital mineral that every single cell uses. Every cell has sulfur in it and you need it. So this is a huge one. 1,000 milligrams. It's also like it's good for connective tissue, healthy cartilage. So in your gut, it's like creating more connective tissue, creating energy, which the L-glutamine can take advantage of and create this new gut lining. Then this is a massive one from Microbiome Labs, Mega IgG 2000. So this is like a immunoglobulin, which is essentially like what our body produces to reform our body is immunoglobulins, and this is a shortcut. Basically, it's immunoglobulins in like a powder or a capsule form, which is super super beneficial. Like this has been the thing that I've seen the most effectiveness with for myself, for clients. This is a huge one. It is bovine based, so if you're vegetarian, vegan, can't do it. But if you're not, this is huge. You do need to get like approved by um, need to get approved by a practitioner, but it's pretty easy too. So yeah, okay. Then we get into some more important parts. This is really the key to regrowing the gut lining right here. Hard talking powder I like to recommend because it's a good cleanser, and a lot of times we also just have a lot of like shit, no pun intended, but literally shit built up in our colon that we need to flush out. And it's like taking all this energy and we just need to get it out. So hard talkie I recommend just in case, like, because sometimes people are like, this isn't working. And it's because they have such a big like waste buildup that they need to get that out before they can really start to regrow anything. Okay, ionic elements. I would be faulted not to put this in here because everybody needs this. Literally every single person would be so much healthier if they just put ionic elements in their water. It's magnesium rich trace minerals, and fulvic acid. Fulvic acid is, it's like decomposed, like very dense, kind of like sea moss, but like mineral dense greenery is essentially how I'm going to put it. But this contains a huge amount of the vital minerals that we need in our life: magnesium, potassium, silica, selenium, boron, copper. List goes on, right? We need this. It's very important so that our body can produce electricity. We're electrical beings. We need this electric charge, this mineralization. Okay, then I'm going to tell you just the diet that works for me. Grass-fed beef over everything, honestly. Like, hugely, hugely important. For my journey, if it's low quality meat, don't eat it. But if you get it from a farm, if it's grass fed, it's so good for you because you just are getting like all your B vitamins and basically every like mineral and vitamin that you need is in grass fed beef. So I don't know. I don't like to offend my vegans, but this is what worked for me, and so I'm gonna say it. When I went vegan, it fucked my gut up. I don't know. Man, it might just be a me problem, but this is what I did. Eggs, same deal. It's just a multivitamin. It's nature's multivitamin. It has everything that you need, especially choline. A lot of choline, which is great for your brain. So a lot of with these neurological disorders, you need to be getting choline. You need to be getting fatty acids, omega threes. Um, if you are vegan, you need to be spamming like not fish oil. Everybody should be taking fish oil, but if you're vegan, you need to be finding like MCT oil. You need to be taking MCT oil every day, every day. Fruits, vegetables, cook your veggies. I like to just like cook them up, throw some nice turmeric spices on them. It's gas, just to get that oxalate load out of there. But there's also a lot of minerals in vegetables that are great for you. The fiber is really good for you. In your gut, you need to be populating your gut with beneficial bacteria. So we'll get to the idea of prebiotics, probiotics, postbiotics. There's a lot of beneficial prebiotics and probiotics in vegetables. Fruits are literally nature's cleanser, nature's antioxidant, and they're delicious. Very important to be going heavy on the fruit. Something that I don't see talked about, and this was vital for my journey back to health, is that I could not eat meat or like a full meal and then fruit. You have to eat fruit, wait 20 minutes, then you can eat a full meal. And then after you eat a full meal, don't eat fruit for the next 2 hours minimum. It really screws up your digestion. Like, assuming you have a kind of weak digestion system, like, I'm not saying a lot of this is like if you have a strong digestive system, it's fine. But a lot of this is like designed for people that don't. And that is something that I saw huge effects. Like bloating, gas would always occur when I started eating like sugars, natural sugars, and proteins together. So, yeah, let's get into the herbal remedy side of it because that is good, but you also need this. I mean, you don't need it, but like this is basically, again, like if I knew everything I knew now, I would have gotten through what I got in very little time. And this is how I would have done it. All right, so the herbs. So I'm going to break this up into like 3 little sections. I didn't have them labeled out, but I'm just going to explain it. So there is like our actual gut healing things, which are these 3, and slippery elm actually, these 4, which is they're changing the bacteria, they're creating new gut lining, they're helping with mucosal function, they're actually like doing work upon your gut. Then these 2, boswellia and aloe, are anti-inflammatories. So they do have good gut function and they specifically can target the gut lining inflammation, but it's fundamentally anti-inflammatory. It's not exactly like regrowing your gut lining. It's lowering inflammation so the other things can work more effectively. These two, holy basil and ginger. Ginger does have some of those other properties. It has anti-inflammatory properties, but these are mainly to just reduce overall stress on the body, especially holy basil. So as we talked about, the gut brain axis, like you can do all this, but if you're a stressed case, if you're a stress basket, your gut is going to suffer and your brain is going to suffer too, because again, like they're connected. And so they're like, when you're stressing in your brain, that's going to your gut, and then it's just like this negative feedback loop that goes forever. So holy basil is adaptogenic, which means it adapts to your genetics, and it's amazing for stress. So taking holy basil and then doing the rest is a really good strategy, because you can get yourself in a calm state, in a receptive state, so the herbs can actually do work. Then ginger is overall just like, it calms your digestive system, it calms your whole body, it returns things to baseline more. So these three, like I'll go into a little bit more how they do what they do. Licorice, dandelion, and berberine, they all have a lot of good prebiotic and probiotic content, which essentially means that it does good work in clearing out bad bacteria, which is the prebiotic, and putting in bacteria that reacts well to food. It's before food. Then probiotic is with food. Postbiotic is obviously after. This isn't really postbiotic. Probiotic is beneficial bacteria with food. So when food comes, there's a lot of good probiotics in, like yogurt, for example, is one that, like, or like kefir, like fermented yogurt. Probiotics re-inoculates your gut with beneficial bacteria, which is very important. There's hundreds of trillions of cells and bacteria in your gut, and essentially the quality of the bacteria, there's good and there's bad bacteria. When your overall quality is good, you have good gut function, and when your overall quality is bad, you have bad gut function. So these put the correct prebiotics and probiotics in your gut. They also, all four of these, increase mucosal function. So it's increases mucosal function and allows for detoxification. And a lot of times mucus also is, like in the stomach, especially the gut lining, you need to have good mucosal function, because mucus is what breaks down your food. So when you have low mucosal function, we see a lot of, like, low stomach acid is a huge problem for people, because they can't break down their food. They can't break down the proteins because they don't have the necessary mucus in their body to do so. So these are going to really, really help with that. They're also anti-inflammatory. These, just anti-inflammatory, takes down baseline inflammation, allows your body to actually use like, you want to think of your body as like almost like a military, right? It's like you have this army of things, and when you have a problem, you want your army to be focusing on that. You don't want your army to be all over in different places. So these are really good at bringing down inflammation and allowing your cells to actually address the problem which is at hand. And then, yeah, I just explained those. So those are your herbal remedies. That's kind of it. I didn't really get to the vagus nerve in this video. I think I'm going to do another video about that. But I hope this is helping y'all. This is really something that was like huge for my life. This like changed my life, learning this stuff. And I think it's going to change a lot of people's lives. Like, actually putting these into practice, following gut healing protocols, is a game changer in terms of overall health. So I hope you enjoyed.